It's 11 December 2008, and had a meeting today with a lady from social services named June, and it's kind of rehabilitation program. It's rehab for getting back into to work, to get used to working again. I'm looking into doing that. But something happened today during the meeting. One second. She has her supervisor in the room this time as well. It's the second time I've met her. So I fill out sort of an application for to see what kind of services I can get. And I filled out this application for the first time I saw her, and that date was, hang on, the 24th of November is when I first met her. One second. There is this application I had to fill out to see what services they can render me for rehabilitation at these at social services, to get me back in the workflow again, to get me going. So we're in the office today, and she has, like I mentioned, she has her supervisor there, and I thought nothing of it, right? Anyways, we're in the process of the meeting, and just cut to the chase. What happened is that I had the words "Chris will kill" on one of the forms, and what it was, and I'll backtrack a little bit and see. When I wrote the application back in 24th of November, I done it a couple days ahead of time, and I missed a page at the last second. I filled it in real quick, so I didn't proofread it, or I didn't have any time to really check what I was writing. Anyways, the question was, what would be the reason for employers to not hire you? And I said, well, I was thinking back to GE. At the time, I was thinking of GE, and I said, well, if they find out I'm God, they might. I have Chris is God. I have a website where I say I'm God, and Chris will kill. But that was, now I had a chance to read that again and re-edit it for a little better presentation. It would have said, well, they'll think I'm God, and they'll see this website that says I'm God, and they'll realize that this could be a false prophet thing. False prophet, he's a devil in disguise, and he's going to kill probably. So that's what I kind of meant to say, and point out. And I was thinking of GE at the time, that this is sort of what happened at GE, where they actually fired me because, look in the GE clip, but they fired me because I was merging into traffic with a coworker, and he complained, I guess, to management that I was trying to hurt him or kill him. And they didn't tell me this when they let me go. They gave me some other excuse, and then I found out during the lawsuit that this was actually the case. So I was just going from examples, just speaking from example. But the way it was presented, it said, Chris will kill. And so this is why her boss is in the room, so that you can kind of get a better take of what I was coming from. Now, one second. The boss even said he'd never seen an application like this, right, with the word "Chris will kill," and I can sort of see where they're coming from. It would be raise an eyebrow, but what concerns me is that during our first presentation with June, she didn't see this, and she probably saw it within an hour after I left the office, and we've emailed a couple times, and she has my phone number in case she wants to call me. But what's interesting is that she didn't want to ask what that's about. For 2.5 weeks, this was fermenting in her mind. Who knows what communication channels are being involved here? All that's in their mind for 2.5 weeks is Chris will kill, and nobody wants to ask me what's up, until today. So I find that to be a little bit two-faced. I don't know if it's two-faced or it's just deceptive on their part. I also told the, we're talking a little bit about this God thing, and I said, I'm God. It's true, right? And I said, I'm willing to make a bet on it if you want to make a bet. So I told him, I bet you never had a meeting also where somebody's betting that he's God as well, So, it was probably quite an interview for the two of them, but it was concerning for June. She's what I would call type 6. If you look on my website, mytrumanshow.com, actors would be type 6 gossipers. And these gossipers, what they do is everything I do has an evil connotation to it. Like our first meeting, I even caught her in this, what she was doing, and I even told her, I said, I think you have a negative spin on everything I do. Like I'll say, the GE thing where, somebody, they thought I was trying to kill somebody, and she's kind of like this sort of a, probably because you did, probably because that's what you're trying to do, Chris. So, and other things like I would say, I'm suing, and I sued some people for discrimination. It's kind of like this look of, Chris, you're just frivolous. Why do you even bothering people? Why do you complain? Why? And she looks in this video clip and on my website here, and bend them over, and she's gonna see all this stuff where I'm getting bent over, and she's going, well, Chris, she's probably gonna have this look of, you probably deserved it, So everything I do has a negative spin to it. This is what these gossipers do. They just do not like me. They do not like anything I have to say. They won't look at Wish Mission and My Truman Show and pick apart the parts that say that I'm going to fix the world, that I'm going to heal the world. They choose to ignore that, and then pick out all the spots that says that the word devil is on my website. Well, that's there because Chris is probably the devil, There's no telling. One second. I mean, you had to have been there today when she was, going to convey to this that I had this word, Chris will kill, because she hands me the sheet. She goes, this is your right. It's at the bottom, so she's looking at the top. Yep, this is right, right? Is this your writing? I said, yeah. This is yours, right? She's kind of confirming that it wasn't forged, and here's what we need. So this is yours. And then, oh, by the way, this down here says, for the reason why employers wouldn't hire you, this says, Chris is God. Chris has a website that says he's God, and then Chris will kill. And then that's where the eyes lit up. That's where we've got him. She's like, the boss is cool and all this. It's June's got this problem where she is out to bust me. And by the way, she's representing me. She's actually representing me to help me get a job. So she's doing this to make sure that I did write this. Oh, goody. We got him now. He did write this, and we are going to now we got him. We got him where we want. And next thing is to call the police. And of course, I had to explain to them, and he's cool about it all. And she is. It's just, I have to deal with these things, and it is with people, the type 6s like this, and it's awful having like a representative. It's like having a lawyer, and instead of looking out for me, she's looking out for the other side to figure out a way for me to get fired. Instead of a way to figure out for me to get hired, let's get him fired. It's like, so I'm not sure she's gonna. Anyways, one second. And what's interesting is it's interesting what they pick and choose to read and what they're willing to believe. It's like they see the word Chris will kill, they read that and they believe it, and yet they choose not to believe the statement before it, which says Chris is God. So it's kind of interesting. They'll cut this piece out of the paper there and mail that portion off. The one that says Chris will kill, and they'll mail it off to the police, and they'll forget to mail the one off to them that says that Chris is God. So it's all about picking and choosing what you want to believe, and then making your own world happen. I mean, these people everybody out there considers me crazy for having some wild ideas about this world. picture the world or reality a little bit differently than everybody else, and yet it's these type 6s that invent their own world. They pick and choose what they want to read, and then they invent their own world, and then it causes it stirs up its own adventure. You know, whatever the gossiping occurs behind the scenes. That's basically what happened at GE, where I got fired because they were gossiping that I was running some guy off the road. I mean, and they weren't telling me this. It's just action occurs behind the scenes. The next thing you know, what happens for me, in reality, is I get bent over. So